In the heart of the jungle, there lived a group of monkeys dreaming of owning big bananas. You know, those delicious and huge bananas that grow deep in the uncharted territories of the forest? But each monkey didn't have enough bananas to buy one on its own. They were just too expensive. So they came up with a brilliant plan. They would form a group, each one contributing a little bit every month. A wise and experienced monkey was chosen to manage the group. And each month, a few lucky monkeys would win a bunch of bananas enough to buy something really big, like a banana cart or even a banana burrow. This is what happens in a consortium. You see, in the corporate world, it is common for employees to pool their resources to purchase valuable items they couldn't afford individually. It is quite popular among low-income earners who aspire to own assets such as cars or houses. These groups are called consortiums. In essence, a consortium is like a group of friends joining forces to buy something expensive they couldn't afford individually. They chip in some money every month, and whoever wins the draw gets to buy the desired item. Let's say you want to buy a car worth $10,000, but you can only afford to pay $100 a month. Instead of saving for years to buy it, you join a consortium with 5 other people. Together, you contribute $600 each month. After a few months, someone wins the draw and buys the car while the others keep paying until someone else wins. It sounds like a great deal, doesn't it? Well, before signing up for any consortium, you should be aware that this practice is essentially a form of peer-to-peer lending. In other words, you are borrowing money from your fellow consortium members. Before we go further, let me make it clear that I am not against consortiums per se. I myself bought a house through a consortium. However, I do have issues with consortiums that operate as informal financial institutions without proper accounting, agreements, or legal frameworks. In today's video, we will delve into the ins and outs of consortiums, debunking some myths along the way. By the end of this video, you will understand how consortiums work, identify if they are suitable for you, compare them to other savings methods, and be prepared to avoid potential pitfalls. So stay tuned until the end because the final part is crucial and contains important information. Before we dive into the advantages and disadvantages of joining a consortium, let's understand how they work. The process is relatively simple. Let's imagine you want to buy a TV worth $1,000 and gather 4 friends to form a consortium with you. Each person contributes $200 per month into a common fund. One lucky person wins the prize each month and pays the remaining balance, meaning they pay nothing for the TV. After forming the group, you designate a trusted member to collect monthly contributions from everyone and distribute the funds to the winner. Once the contribution reaches the TV's price, the winner can purchase it. However, you must be cautious and ensure that the designated person does not misappropriate the funds. We recommend choosing a responsible and trustworthy person for this role. Before starting the consortium, it's important to establish ground rules, including penalties for those who stop paying. Set consequences, such as removing the offender from the group and reallocating their share of the prize to the other members. Remember, no one is exempt from making payments. Even if the winner changes, they must still pay their share for the following month. This arrangement ensures that the group remains fair and encourages everyone to fulfill their obligations. If you haven't yet seen our video explaining how buying a house through a consortium works, I highly recommend checking it out. It's available on our channel and provides valuable insights into the process. Now let's move on to the first and most significant advantage of participating in a consortium, which is the opportunity to acquire goods that would not be possible through individual savings. For example, a house, a car, or a piece of land. Consortiums allow individuals to purchase assets they could not afford, otherwise due to insufficient personal income or savings. It's an excellent option for those looking to own valuable items that would take years to acquire on their own. The second advantage of consortiums is the chance to obtain credit without interest. Although there may be associated costs, they usually don't involve interest payments. Instead, members pay a fee for managing the consortium, which goes to the person responsible for collecting contributions and organizing the group. Another advantage of consortiums is that unlike loans from banks or other financial institutions, there is no need to worry about paying the debt if you lose your job or experience financial difficulties. Consortiums rely on voluntary participation, and there are no formal obligations or legal consequences if you can no longer pay your share. However, it's essential to maintain trust within the group and communicate openly with other members. Unlike savings, which require a significant time horizon to accumulate the necessary amount, consortiums enable faster acquisition of desired goods. Through joint efforts, group members can pool their resources and buy the desired item much quicker than if they saved individually. This speed and efficiency make consortiums an attractive option for those seeking to acquire assets promptly. And the last advantage of consortiums is the opportunity to save without needing to set aside a fixed amount. While participating in a consortium, you don't necessarily have to save a predetermined amount like you would in a traditional savings plan. You can adjust your payments based on your income and expenses. As long as you contribute at least once, you can continue participating in the consortium. However, it's essential to consider that other members' contributions remain fixed. Therefore, your share of the prize depends on the number of contributions you make. Now, let's talk about the disadvantages of joining a consortium. And the first one is related to the lack of formalization and regulation of consortiums. Unlike financial institutions, consortiums are informal groups without legal or regulatory framework. This informality may lead to conflicts or breaches of agreements among members, especially when there is no written evidence or third-party oversight. Another disadvantage of consortiums is the absence of a fixed savings rate. Unlike traditional savings plans where the amount deposited can be precisely calculated, consortiums do not offer this certainty. Your actual savings depend on the frequency of winning the draw, which is uncertain. Consequently, you may end up saving less or more than anticipated. This lack of predictability can impact your overall financial planning. Then there's the risk of default by other members of the consortium. Since consortiums are based on trust and not on formal agreements, there is always a risk that other members may default on their payments. This non-compliance can compromise the group's financial stability and jeopardize the purchase of the desired good. It's essential to carefully select consortium members and establish effective monitoring mechanisms. Furthermore, consortiums often involve complex logistics, especially when dealing with large groups or valuable assets. Coordinating payments, managing funds, and ensuring compliance among numerous members can become challenging. This complexity may lead to misunderstandings, delays, or even conflicts, making the entire process cumbersome and stressful. It's also important to consider the lack of liquidity in consortiums. Unlike other investment options or savings plans, consortiums typically do not offer easy access to funds. Your ability to withdraw your share of the winnings depends on being drawn in the rotation, which is unpredictable. Additionally, leaving a consortium before it reaches its financial goal can result in losing a significant portion of your accumulated savings. This lack of liquidity can create financial constraints and limit your ability to access your funds when needed. And finally, there is the possibility of loss of the purchased asset. In the unfortunate event that the asset acquired through the consortium suffers damage or is lost, the responsibility for its recovery or replacement lies with the group members. This situation can generate conflicts and disputes within the group, especially when there is no clear agreement or external entity overseeing the consortium. In conclusion, consortiums present both advantages and disadvantages compared to other savings methods. The decision to join or not depends on your financial goals and personal circumstances. Consider the advantages of acquiring desired goods, the opportunity to save without a fixed commitment, and the absence of interest payments. However, also be aware of the disadvantages such as the lack of formality, the absence of a fixed savings rate, the risk of default by other members, the complex logistics, involved the lack of liquidity, and the possibility of loss of the purchased asset. Carefully evaluate these aspects before making a decision. If you enjoyed the video, give us a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to be notified of our new videos. Share this video with your friends and family, so they too can learn about the consortium. Remember, no one is exempt from making payments. Even if the winner changes, they must still pay their share for the following month. Until next time.